Hey guys, Stacy with SF Johnson Consulting and Construction Services. Again today on the 5th of October, someone told me that I need to have 10 times as many, at least by now, of these videos recorded. And you know what? It takes a while to learn how to do something, right? And then it takes another while to not get burnt out on it. And so, yes, I have a wealth of knowledge by running this business for now 13 years that I should have had on YouTube type platforms, both for this and for my nonprofit. But is no time like the present. And so, what I want to go over today is just to kind of have you in a certain mindset. Every Friday at our daily live classes that you do have to sign up with, and then you'll get a go-to meeting invite where you can ask questions, join live, all that stuff. Have breakout rooms where we discuss all kind of topics depending on what information you want to know. I want you to think about how to think about the WBS, the work breakdown schedules, right? Because if you're going to do a good construction schedule, you have to, every part of, and this is part of our project management series or whatever you want to call it. This fits in a lot of different places. If you're like a sole proprietor, contractor, right? Your mom and pop electrician. Well, you need this as well because you need to be able to, when you present estimates to your clients, the homeowners or whatever, you need to be able to have an accurate way to break down the project and show how long it's going to take, and two, when you are dealing with a general contractor on another hand, and you should be able to do this, each individual trade should be able to do this, and of course the general contractor should be able to do this. That's the only way that they put together the construction schedule, right? Is to be able to take every scope of work from the site work all the way through the final cleaning, know how long each operation is going to take, and know where critical points are, right? Where these things have to be done, finished, in order for me to continue and not lose money, lose time, whatever. All right. So you have to be able to look at your estimate and determine how long something's going to take. So that's why I always stress it requires that you have a construction based cost book because they give you the cost units like we show here. We always show in our sample estimates. Cost unit is how long something's going to take to do one of whatever it is. So in our case, we have a 3 5/8 inch 18 gauge stud, and we're going to be placing at the 16th. Okay, so when we see that, that includes everything it takes to put a stud. So that includes the top plate, bottom plate, nails, whatever. Okay, just like the gypsum board includes everything it takes to install 1 square foot of gypsum board. Okay, so that's what the cost units are. So if you have a good cost book, you know how long a 1 unit's going to take. And then if you have a good construction software, whatever, estimating software, then you know if you have 3,888 of them, you know it's going to take you 97.20 man hours. Now, what's that mean? Man hours. That's if the man hours, that's hours basically, right? Now, we don't care that you can do it slower or faster. More more importantly, you can do it faster. You wouldn't want to say, "Oh, I'm not doing it that fast." Yeah. So we don't care if you can do it faster, right? We just say this is how long the construction industry says it should take you. And so again, we know how long the whole thing takes us. And so where do we get to the work breakdown schedule? Well, now you are going to have to produce a construction schedule for yourself based on your scope of work. And so you have to kind of think, and this is what this video is all about, is the mindset that you take into producing a work breakdown schedule, or being able to look at someone's, or being able to take a whole project and break it down. And Google's there, right? So if you need some help on what comes first, what comes second, if it's not your scope of work, right? Like a general contractor, most of them probably haven't done every scope of work, everything on their estimate in their project. So yeah, they probably have to go to somewhere, some construction site, and see what the logistics are of placing a concrete slab. What comes first, what comes second? That's out there, trust me. Okay, so if you're doing this, for instance, this is the framing and drywall, and everything that's related to installing the framing and the drywall for this takeoff, because we already did the takeoff, right? And it's put on the Excel spreadsheet, and we're producing now our cost estimate. Well, in terms of the breakdown, what comes first when you build a wall? Well, the framing, right? And so you'll break this down even more, right? Because you gotta put the framing up before you put the drywall up, right? And so you can take out all of the framing operations, right? Which basically these two, I'm sorry, the one at the top of every P30, that's just the wall, how many linear feet, right? So you can take those out of this full estimate. And now, for instance, now you have this same thing, but just for the framing. So what is for the framing? What do we do? And we already know how long the framing is going to take because we already have it here, 97.2, and then 58.37, and then 7.17. And then we could break that down even more per type, stud type, whatever. Okay, and then that's the first operation in drywall framing. For me, if this was me, my company, okay, so I took out all the framing because I have to frame before I can put the drywall up. Doesn't this just make sense? And so no matter what you do, that's how you produce your W, work, breakdown, right? Schedule. Just like with concrete, what do I do first? Well, I'll probably have to form it out. And I'm not in charge of excavation and grading, okay? That's believing, right? I'm not in charge of that. I'm just the concrete person. So what do I have to do? It's already been graded. I'm ready to go. Step one, I got to form it out. So I'm going to pull out all my form work numbers. And at some point, everything just kind of what's next. And then so your construction schedule basically for your particular scope of work would start with, for the framer, start with framing all the different types of whatever. And then you have an idea. And then we can go to the next phase, right? Because before you can do the drywall, you got to finish all the frames. So what your critical point is. Well, I have to have all of this done. Now you go back, and because somebody has a bigger scheme of this, okay, your job is however many man hours, but what if they need you to do it in half the time? Your man hours say 45. Well, they need you to do it in half the time. They need you to do it in 30. Well, you just have to have more people because it's per man hour, right? Each man or woman should be working an 8-hour day. So every person that's involved in that is chunking out 8 hours of your full man person schedule. Okay, so when you think about your WBS, your work breakdown schedule, you have to think in terms of, okay, first of all, you have to do a complete estimate to know this is how many man hours for my full job. Okay, now then you go through each of the individual scopes of work and you break down. If I'm the framer, of course I have to frame. If I'm framing drywall and caulking, well, I have to frame first. And then you could go even more anal and say, okay, when I'm framing, what am I actually doing? Okay, bottom plate. How long is that going to take? Because, again, a good assembly of assembly hour, man hour should include each individual operation, should be the composite of all the individual operations. Just like I said, the 3 5/8 core stud at the 16. It's like my 6th video today. And not to mention the couple I forgot to press play and record. All right. So remember that no matter what you do, If you're the painter, what's first, second, third? How many man hours, person hours is it? And it makes it very easy. And so if you go to our website, we have the WBS, look on the safety lane on our homepage. sfjohnsonconsulting.com is on the right. You go down a little bit, you'll see WBS. It's a link. Click on it. Gives you all the basics. Gives you a couple videos on a construction schedule, forward pass, backward pass, all that good stuff. And then sign up now that we've reduced our price to $9.99 per month. Join us every day, Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. on Saturdays, but 8 a.m. all the other days. And did I say Monday? No, Tuesday through Saturday at 8 a.m. But Saturdays are 7 because we want to go home early. All right, so thanks for joining me, and please join me every day. And if you have any questions, please email me at education@sfjohnsonconsulting.com. It is Wednesday. Have a wonderful rest of your week.